Men, listen closely. Women remember certain men, not because of how much attention they gave or how charming they were in the moment, but because of the depth of their impact. These are the men who leave a lasting impression without trying to manipulate, impress, or perform. In the modern dating world, fleeting gestures and surface-level charm are everywhere. What truly sticks is consistency, emotional presence, and the ability to make a woman feel valued, seen, and secure on a deeper level. There are 5 specific behaviors that create that kind of unforgettable presence. They aren't flashy or complicated. They aren't about buying gifts, crafting the perfect text, or overcomplicating interactions. They are simple, high-value actions that signal stability, confidence, and emotional intelligence. Women notice them, remember them, and often carry those impressions with them for years. These behaviors work because they touch on what women intuitively look for: a man who adds emotional weight to their lives, protects their trust, challenges them in the right way, and leaves a subtle but powerful imprint. When executed naturally, these actions make you unforgettable, not through drama or manipulation, but through authenticity and impact. In this video, you'll learn the 5 things men can do that women never forget, why they work from a psychological perspective, and how to apply them consistently in the modern dating world. Mastering these actions will shift how women perceive you, increasing both attraction and respect without chasing or overextending yourself. 1. Shows emotional stability. Men, the first thing women never forget is a man who remains emotionally stable. This isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending you're invulnerable. It's about handling stress, frustration, and conflict with composure. Emotional stability signals strength, reliability, and self-control, all qualities women deeply respect and remember. In everyday interactions, emotional stability shows up in subtle ways. When a disagreement arises, you don't overreact, raise your voice, or lash out. You listen, process, and respond thoughtfully. When life throws challenges, work stress, unexpected delays, or social pressure, you remain calm and collected. This quiet consistency demonstrates that you are dependable and capable of navigating emotional complexity. Women notice this, often subconsciously, and it creates a lasting impression because it contrasts sharply with men who are reactive, erratic, or unpredictable. Psychologically, women are wired to value men who can regulate their emotions. Stability provides a sense of safety, which allows them to be themselves without fear of volatility. A stable man becomes a pillar in their emotional landscape, someone whose presence is comforting, grounding, and memorable. The mind registers stability as rare and valuable, making it difficult to forget. Emotional stability also enhances attraction because it communicates that you can handle life without relying on her validation or constant reassurance. Women instinctively notice when a man can manage his emotions independently. That kind of presence commands respect and deepens desire long after initial interactions have passed. Many men underestimate the power of this quality because it's quiet. It doesn't demand attention like grand gestures or flashy behavior, but its impact is profound. Stability breeds trust, and trust breeds emotional attachment. Women remember men who made them feel safe in this way, even if they never consciously acknowledge it. The key is consistency. One isolated display of calm doesn't leave the same impression as habitual emotional composure. Being a stable presence day after day, in both small moments and stressful situations, builds a lasting imprint. Women remember how it felt to be around you, not just what you said or did, but how you made them feel emotionally. In short, emotional stability is a quiet superpower. It signals strength, reliability, and maturity. It creates safety, fosters trust, and leaves an unforgettable mark on a woman's memory. 2. Makes her feel understood. Men, The second thing women never forget is a man who truly makes them feel understood. This goes beyond surface-level conversation or casual attention. It's about genuinely listening, empathizing, and validating her emotions without judgment or interruption. Women remember the men who could tune into their world, notice their feelings, and respond in a way that made them feel seen. Understanding her isn't about agreeing with everything she says or solving her problems. It's about acknowledging her perspective and reflecting that you grasp the depth of her emotions. Simple actions, like summarizing what she shared, offering thoughtful responses, or gently checking in later about something she mentioned, communicate that you actually listened. Women notice the effort behind this attentiveness. It signals that you value her mind and heart, not just her presence or appearance. Psychologically, feeling understood creates a strong emotional bond. When someone validates your inner world, your brain releases subtle positive reinforcement, dopamine and oxytocin, that link connection with comfort, safety, and attraction. Women remember the men who elicited that feeling because it's rare. Many men fail at this because they are distracted, reactive, or too focused on performance rather than connection. Understanding isn't flashy, but its effect is profound and enduring. This quality also differentiates you from other men in her life. Casual attention is easy to find, but deliberate understanding is rare. A man who consistently demonstrates that he gets her becomes memorable because he provides a sense of emotional resonance and security that most men can't match. Women subconsciously track these interactions, and the memory of feeling fully seen stays with them. Being understood isn't a one-time event. It's built over multiple interactions. Each time you listen attentively, remember small details, or reflect back her feelings accurately, you reinforce that emotional imprint. Over time, it creates an association between you and emotional depth, trust, and authenticity. Many men sabotage this by over-explaining, interrupting, or trying to fix feelings instead of reflecting them. The goal isn't to solve her problems or earn her approval. It's to provide a mirror for her emotions, demonstrating that her inner world is respected and acknowledged. In short, making a woman feel understood is a powerful and unforgettable act. It builds trust, deepens attraction, and positions you as a man of emotional intelligence, someone she naturally remembers, respects, and associates with emotional safety. 3. Shows consistent confidence. Men, the third thing women never forget is a man who exudes consistent confidence. Not arrogance, not bravado, not trying to impress, but genuine, grounded confidence that shows up in every interaction. Confidence is magnetic because it communicates self-assuredness, stability, and independence, qualities that women naturally value in a partner. Consistent confidence is noticeable in the small things. It's in the way you hold yourself in conversation, your willingness to express your opinions calmly, your ability to set boundaries without over-explaining, and your composure in social or stressful situations. Women register these behaviors subconsciously, and over time, they leave a lasting impression. It signals that you are comfortable in your own skin and capable of handling life without excessive validation. Psychologically, confidence activates attraction because it signals emotional security and competence. Women instinctively evaluate how a man carries himself, how he interacts with the world, and whether he can navigate challenges without being reactive or insecure. Confidence also reduces drama and uncertainty in interactions, making women feel safer and more comfortable opening up. Men who lack consistent confidence often trigger emotional friction, whereas confident men create calm and curiosity simultaneously. Behaviorally, consistent confidence isn't about dominating a conversation or boasting. It's subtle. Speaking clearly, making decisions without hesitation, respecting your own time and energy, and maintaining composure when faced with conflict or challenge. Women remember men who can navigate tension gracefully, handle rejection calmly, and stay grounded even when emotions run high. That stability is rare and memorable. Confidence also manifests in emotional consistency. You don't overreact to her moods. You maintain your principles, and you show that your emotional state isn't dependent on her validation. That independence is highly attractive because it shows that you are in control of your own life. Women remember the men who made them feel like a partner, not a source of control over their emotions. Many men confuse confidence with cockiness or showmanship. True confidence is quiet, steady, and reliable. It doesn't need external reinforcement or constant acknowledgement. Women notice and remember this because it contrasts sharply with the instability they encounter in other men. In short, consistent confidence is unforgettable because it signals independence, emotional competence, and self-assuredness. It builds attraction naturally, creates respect, and makes women associate you with reliability and strength, qualities that endure in memory long after interactions have ended. 4. Respects her independence. Men, the fourth thing women never forget is a man who respects their independence. In today's world, women value partners who recognize their autonomy, ambitions, and personal space. When a man supports her independence without feeling threatened, it creates deep respect, admiration, and lasting attraction. Women notice when you encourage them to pursue their goals, trust their decisions, and allow them freedom to live their lives fully, without needing to control, question, or cling. Respecting her independence doesn't mean being distant or disengaged. It means striking the right balance, being present and supportive while letting her maintain her individuality. A man who micromanages, pressures, or oversteps boundaries creates tension and resentment. Conversely, a man who honors her space, celebrates her accomplishments, and refrains from unnecessary interference positions himself as emotionally intelligent and high value. Women notice the difference immediately, and it leaves a lasting impression. Psychologically, women respond strongly to men who demonstrate that they see them as equals rather than possessions. Independence signals confidence on both sides. When you respect her autonomy, she interprets it as a sign that you are secure in yourself. You're not trying to dominate her, manipulate her, or control outcomes. You're simply confident enough to allow her to be her full self. That kind of respect is rare and memorable. Behaviorally, this shows up in simple but powerful ways. You support her ambitions, celebrate her achievements without jealousy, and allow her space to socialize, grow, and make decisions without over-involvement. You also set healthy boundaries for yourself, showing that respect goes both ways. Women subconsciously track this dynamic, and men who respect independence are often the ones they think about long after interactions. Respecting independence also builds trust. She feels safe knowing that being with you doesn't compromise her identity or values. She remembers the man who never tried to control her, but consistently showed up as a supportive, grounded presence. That emotional imprint lingers because it feels both rare and valuable. Many men fail here by confusing closeness with control. They attempt to monopolize attention, make decisions for her, or impose limits on her life. This behavior erodes respect and weakens attraction. High-value men understand that freedom and support enhance connection, whereas control kills it. In short, respecting a woman's independence is unforgettable because it signals confidence, security, and emotional intelligence. It demonstrates that you are capable of being a strong partner without undermining her individuality, which deepens attraction, trust, and lasting emotional impact. 5. Leaves emotional impressions. Men, the fifth thing women never forget is a man who leaves emotional impressions, moments that linger long after the interaction is over. These aren't grand gestures or flashy displays. They're small, meaningful actions that make her feel understood, appreciated, and alive in your presence. Women remember how you made them feel far more than the words you said or the places you went. Emotional impact creates memory, and memory creates lasting attraction. Emotional impressions can be subtle. It might be the way you remembered something she casually mentioned weeks ago, or how you supported her during a stressful moment without needing acknowledgement. It could be a spontaneous moment of humor that broke tension, a heartfelt compliment that felt genuine, or simply the calm confidence you displayed in a situation that unsettled others. These moments imprint because they stand out from the ordinary, mundane interactions that women encounter daily. Psychologically, humans are wired to remember emotional experiences more vividly than neutral ones. Positive emotional impressions activate reward pathways in the brain, creating lasting associations. When a woman experiences joy, comfort, or validation in your presence, her brain links those feelings to you. That's why women often recall men who created emotional impact long after the encounter. They remember how it felt, not just what happened. Behaviorally, leaving emotional impressions requires awareness and authenticity. You listen attentively, respond thoughtfully, and engage fully without being performative. You act in a way that resonates emotionally without overcomplicating or overdoing it. You focus on quality over quantity. Small gestures with deep impact are far more memorable than constant superficial attention. Many men fail at this because they focus on external factors, how to impress her with money, looks, or status, rather than the emotional connection. Women rarely forget men who made them feel understood, safe, or alive emotionally. That's what sticks. Another key aspect is timing and subtlety. Emotional impressions don't need to be dramatic or staged. They are often most effective when they feel spontaneous and sincere. A single conversation where you display empathy, humor, or composure in a meaningful way can be far more memorable than weeks of trying to perform attraction. In short, men who create lasting emotional impressions are unforgettable. These impressions demonstrate attentiveness, emotional intelligence, and presence. Women remember not just what you said or did, but how you made them feel safe, understood, appreciated, or alive. Those feelings become the emotional anchor that keeps you in her mind long after interaction, making you memorable in a way that superficial charm or flashy gestures never can. Men, here's the takeaway. Women never forget the men who impact them emotionally, consistently, and authentically. It's not flashy gestures, manipulation, or constant attention that makes you memorable. It's the combination of emotional stability, genuine understanding, quiet confidence, respect for independence, small but meaningful emotional impressions, reliable behavior, and the positive emotional legacy you leave behind. When you cultivate these qualities, you position yourself as a man who commands respect, deepens attraction, and creates lasting impressions without chasing, performing, or overcomplicating. Women remember how you made them feel more than what you did, and that emotional imprint defines your value in their eyes. In a world where superficial charm is common and consistency is rare, mastering these 5 behaviors makes you unforgettable. You become the man she respects, desires, and carries in her memory, a man whose presence she instinctively values and whose absence she notices.